on the crown that chose no king. The crown was colder than Mela expected when he lifted it from the stone plinth, not the cold of enchantment or curse, just the dull chill of metal that had been untouched for too long. The hall watched him in silence, not reverence. Waiting, that was worse. It had been 17 years since anyone last stood beneath the crown of Valrin with a claim that mattered. 17 years of councils, sealed votes and temporary measures that outlived their own definitions. The people still gathered when the crown was unveiled. Habit endured longer than belief. Mela adjusted his grip and turned, careful not to let the circlet tilt. The iron-gold band caught the torchlight without warmth. No gems, no runes. Only a faint seam along the inner rim where older hands had once pressed symbols, now worn smooth. Below him, Ceres Kale stood apart from the others, regent in everything but name. She had ruled longer than most kings in the Codex, though no one ever said that aloud. Her expression was neutral, practiced by years of hearing praise she could not accept and blame she could not escape. The claimant stepped forward. A young man, well-dressed, trembling despite his training. He knelt. Mela lowered the crown onto his head. Nothing happened. No fire, no refusal, no sign at all. The young man looked up, searching faces for meaning. Mela said the words he had said a dozen times before. The crown has not chosen. The claimant rose, bowed, and walked away, already forgotten. The hall exhaled. After the assembly dispersed, Mela returned the crown to its plinth and sealed the chamber. He recorded the result in the ledger with careful script. Date, name, outcome, empty margins, as always. It was only later, in the West Archive, where dust gathered faster than memory, that he found the fragment. It was not labeled as doctrine, not prophecy, only testimony, sealed beneath the name Threnn of Halewick, executed for treason 2 centuries prior. Jurist, philosopher, architect of the crown. Mela read slowly. A crown does not choose a king, Threnn had written. It defines what a king is allowed to be. Mela frowned, reading on. When the people asked me to forge an end to tyranny, they expected a safeguard, a test, a judgment. They did not ask for permanence. I gave it anyway. The words tightened as he continued. The crown was not made to fail. It was made to finish. Mela closed the fragment and sat back. The room felt smaller, quieter. He returned to the Codex vault and read older records with new eyes. Patterns emerged where none had before. The moment hereditary oaths weakened. The year noble titles stopped carrying legal weight unless reaffirmed by council. The quiet disappearance of the phrase by royal decree from binding law. The crown had not rejected kings, it had erased the role. When Melor told Ceres, she did not speak at first. She listened, asked for the fragment, and read it twice. So, she said finally, voice low, there will never be a coronation. No, Mela replied, there never was meant to be another. War arrived before the council could decide what to do with that truth. Messengers brought news of banners crossing the eastern plain. Old allies demanded to know who ruled Valrin now. Who would sign treaties? Who would command armies? The council fractured. Some argued the crown must be destroyed. Others urged silence. A few demanded a king be named regardless. Symbol mattered more than truth. Ceres listened to them all. Then she stood. That evening, she summoned the city. She placed the crown upon her own head beneath the open sky. Nothing happened, but elsewhere unseen old bindings unraveled. Oaths sworn to royal bloodlines dissolved. Titles passed down for centuries lost their authority in courts and contracts alike. Land held by crown right reverted to the commons. The law did not break, it clarified. The crown had not empowered Ceres, it had completed its work. She removed it and handed it back to Mela. "I was never meant to be queen," she said. Not with regret, with relief. Valrin did not fall. It changed. Councils expanded. Commands became mandates. War was met without a sovereign, and the city endured. Not because it was ruled, but because it remembered how to govern itself. Mela sealed the fragment into the codex under black wax and wrote the final line himself. The crown did not end kings by force, it made them unnecessary, and so the codex remembers. Subscribe, and the next record will be revealed.